Let me tell you something that'll change your life if you let it sink in. The moment you let go, everything begins to shift. Most people walk through life holding on to pain, holding on to the past, holding on to beliefs that no longer serve them, and they wonder why they're exhausted, why they're unfulfilled, why happiness feels like something always just out of reach. But here's the truth. Happiness isn't something you chase. It's something you allow. It's already inside you. You don't get happiness. You remove what's blocking it. And what's blocking it? That need to control, that need to fix, that constant mental chatter telling you it has to be a certain way. Michael Singer puts it beautifully. He says, you are not your thoughts. You're the one observing those thoughts. You're not your fear. You're not your doubt. You're not even your past. You are the presence behind it all. And when you start to realize that, when you experience that space, you begin to notice how much you've been gripping the wheel with white knuckles, trying to steer life on your terms. But life doesn't work like that. Life flows. And the moment you stop trying to force the river and instead float with it, the current will take you somewhere far more beautiful than you could have ever planned. So breathe, let go of needing to know, let go of needing to be right, let go and feel the space where happiness lives. Michael Singer talks about surrender not as giving up, but as waking up. You're not handing life over to chaos. You're aligning with the intelligence of life itself. And when you do that, when you stop resisting what is, your energy returns, your clarity comes back. You stop fighting battles that were never yours to fight. You start dancing with life instead of dragging your feet through it. Let me ask you something. How much of your life have you spent trying to control everything? Be honest. We've all done it. We try to control our partners, our careers, our kids, our future. Hell, even the weather on our vacation. But here's what I've learned after working with millions of people around the world. Control is the ultimate illusion. You think you're creating certainty, but what you're really doing is building walls around your own joy. And those walls, they're made of fear. Fear that if you let go, everything will fall apart. But the truth is, the opposite happens. When you surrender, that's when you actually come alive. I'm not telling you to be passive. This isn't about sitting on the couch waiting for a miracle. This is about choosing trust over tension. It's about moving forward, yes, but without the chains of fear around your neck. When you surrender, you don't lose control. You gain freedom. The kind of freedom that leads to real happiness, the kind that doesn't depend on whether life goes your way, but on whether you're aligned with the way life is going. You want to transform your life? Then you've got to start by mastering the one place that controls everything. Your inner world. That voice inside your head, that constant commentary, it's not you. It's just noise. It's patterns. It's programming. And if you let that run your life, you're going to stay stuck in the same loop. Stress, frustration, doubt, repeat. But here's the game changer. You have the power to observe that voice instead of reacting to it. You have the ability to choose how you respond instead of being a slave to your thoughts and emotions. Michael Singer calls it relax and release. And I love that because it's not about suppression. It's not about pretending everything's fine. It's about creating space between you and the storm. That space is where your power, that space is where peace begins. You see, most people think they need their external world to be perfect to feel good inside. That's backwards. If you want to create a beautiful life, you've got to start by creating a beautiful state. No matter what's happening around you, I've said it for decades, the quality of your life is the quality of your emotions. And your emotions, they're driven by focus, meaning, and the patterns you allow to dominate your mind. So what if, instead of reacting to every little thing, you just took a breath, stepped back, and remembered, you are not the storm. You are the sky, and the sky can handle anything. Let's get real. Most people are addicted to suffering. It sounds crazy, right? But look around. People relive the same painful story over and over again like it's their favorite movie. They rehearse their trauma. They argue for their limitation, and they don't even realize they're doing it. But here's what I want you to hear loud and clear. Pain is part of life, but suffering is a choice. Yeah, you heard me. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to stay stuck in that loop of why did this happen to me? Or this isn't fair. That's just the mind clinging to control, and it's robbing you of your joy. Michael Singer breaks it down so powerfully. Suffering exists because we resist reality. We want life to match our expectations, and when it doesn't, we fight it. But what if instead of fighting, you surrendered? What if you stopped tightening up and started releasing? You'd find that the energy you've been using to suffer is the same energy you could use to create, to love, to grow. I teach people all over the world, change your story and you change your life. But you've got to stop identifying with the story of pain. You've got to interrupt the pattern. Catch yourself in the moment and say, wait, what if I just let this go? That decision right there is your freedom. Because happiness isn't found in controlling life. It's found in releasing the need to control and choosing peace over pain. Every single time there's a place inside you that's calm, steady, unshakable. It's who you really are. Not the emotions that come and go, not the chaos of your thoughts. I'm talking about the observer. That's what Michael Singer calls the seat of self. And I'll tell you something, when you start living from that place, instead of getting lost in every little drama, your whole life changes. It's like stepping out of the storm and realizing you were never the storm to begin with. You're the one watching it all happen. Now look, I know life gets intense. People say things, plans fall apart, things don't go how you want it. But when you're anchored in that deeper awareness, you're no longer a puppet being yanked around by every trigger. You respond with intention instead of reacting with emotion. That's power. That's freedom. And that's where real happiness lives. Not in controlling the outside, but in mastering your experience on the inside. Most people are asleep. They're caught in autopilot. But when you wake up to the truth that you're the one observing it all, not the thoughts, not the fear, not the disappointment, you stop living from survival and start living from presence. And from that presence, you start to realize happiness isn't something you chase, it's something you return to. Because it's been there all along. You just had to stop letting everything else drown it out. Step back, watch, breathe. That's where the magic is. That's where you are. When you finally let go, when you release the grip, stop resisting, and drop the illusion that you have to control everything, something amazing happens. Joy rushes in. Not the kind of joy that depends on everything going right. I'm talking about the joy that's wired in your soul. The joy that comes from being fully alive, fully present, fully you. That's the reward of surrender. That's the space where real purpose shows up. Not forced, not fabricated, but flowing straight from your heart. Michael Singer says, when you stop getting in your own way, life begins to live through you. And that's not just poetic, it's truth. When you're no longer bogged down by fear or chained to your past, or constantly bracing for what could go wrong, your energy shifts. You move from fear to freedom, from pressure to presence, from control to contribution. And that's when your purpose becomes clear, because now you're not chasing happiness, you're radiating it. You're living in a state where fulfillment isn't some far-off goal, it's your baseline. I've said it for years, the secret to living is giving. But you can't truly give when you're still clinging. When you let go, that's when love pours out of you. Creativity flows. Your soul lights up. And people feel it. You become a force of nature. Not because you're trying to be something, but because you've stopped trying to be anything other than who you already are. That's the life you were born for. That's freedom. That's happiness.